Hey, working mom, welcome to Order Meets Style, the podcast that provides home organizing and home styling tips for working moms. I'm ZC Mann, professional organizer with Firefly Bridge Organizing, and I'm here to provide you with simple ideas that don't take a lot of time to organize your home so that you can love the way your home looks and functions, and so you're proud to invite anyone over anytime without stressing out about clutter. Ready for a beautifully organized home that makes you smile every time you walk in? Let's make it happen. It's mid-October, and this is the time of year when in our house, we start to feel a lot of excitement for the holiday season, starting with Halloween, then Thanksgiving, and then all the year-end Christmas and New Year excitement. Partially for me, it's because of the promise of some fun family time, and partially it's because of the actual time off when there's not a wake-up time, not so much of a schedule to keep. It's also a time when parents are thinking about toys. We're looking for gift ideas for our own kids and probably ideas for our nieces, our nephews, and our family friends' kids too. So you know that toys are going to be coming into your house soon. And so today, I'm going to give you an idea for how to declutter the toys in your home painlessly. Painless for both you and your kids. You'll be making space for the new toys that are going to be coming into your house during the holiday season. But this comes with a caveat, so please listen to the end of the episode, okay? Now, when our kids were really young, I fell into the trap of looking for every educational toy that promised a developmental advantage for my children, right? In fact, I was sure that if my child didn't have that one toy that taught them how to open every type of latch and gate lock, then she would be missing a crucial skill. Now, whether that skill was hand-eye coordination or being able to escape through every baby gate, well, I'm not sure. Just thinking about that now, I see how ridiculous that is. It just sounds so silly, but I fell for it, as I'm sure so many other parents are still falling for it. In fact, there are now subscription models where every month, from the time your child is born, they send you an age-appropriate new developmental toy. You don't even have to go search for it. Now, I'm not dismissing those subscription services. I'm sure that you've probably found at least some of the toys they send to you to be really great for your kids. What I've been finding lately, though, is that those toys are staying in families' toy rooms, and the collection just keeps getting bigger and bigger. You might be experiencing that yourself, and you might also be noticing that your kids aren't engaging or focusing on one toy for very long. So I indulged in these amazing developmental toys for the kids for a while, and then I started observing that they didn't play with one single toy for very long. So I did some research and I read studies showing that too many toys can cause overwhelm in kids, and it distracts them from engagement and focus. So while I wanted my kids to play for the sake of play and to be able to do so independently, and I also wanted to help them develop certain skills using toys, they were becoming overwhelmed by the basically overstimulation because of the number of toys they had around them, and they couldn't focus on any one skill or with independent playtime in general. I found actually that during playtime with me, I felt like I often had to be the director of playtime to tell them what to do next, or they would stop playing and just come to me anyway. So I read up about toy rotation, and I came up with a system of putting some toys away, and I was mixing, various categories into each bin, and I would keep these bins in the toy closet, and I would bring out a new bin every 3 to 4 weeks, and I'd put away the other toys. The idea was that these new toys, in quotes, right? New toys. These toys would re-engage the kids, and it would build their excitement when they, perhaps got bored with the toys that they'd been playing with. Now, toy rotation is great. I had 5 small containers of toys that I would rotate through about once a month, but it was time consuming to keep that system going. It takes time for planning and for remembering to do the rotation. And I had to do it while the kids weren't around. So it would be after they went to bed or on the weekend when my husband would take them out. And I would have to plan to be home to do the rotation. Also, Toy rotation works really great for really young kids. But once they get a little older and they find out that there are more toys, they can't stop thinking about the ones in storage. And that just dissolves their concentration on the toys that are in front of them. In fact, my kids did catch on at some point and kept asking for all the other toys until at one point, just all the toys were out in the toy room in front of them, and I was back to where we started. So I went back to the research. Educational psychotherapist Claire Lerner and Dr. Michael Malone both separately found that when they have fewer toys, children use and develop their imaginations more, they increase their attention spans, they interact more with each other, they develop stronger problem-solving skills, they take better care of their things, they're more open to exploring other activities like music and art, and they have more opportunities to explore the outdoors and nature. Now, I read these two researchers' findings and I thought, well, aren't each of these elements exactly what I wanted the toys I was buying to do for my kids? But instead, I was overwhelming my kids with toys and they struggled to focus on a single activity long enough to learn from it because they were distracted by all the other toys or the promise of all the toys in the rotation closet. Their attention spans were just abysmally short with toys. And I thought that they just weren't good at independent play, right? And so I was like, well, good thing for preschool. Because listen, as much as I love to play with my kids, I didn't want to be playtime director every moment of our weekends. I had a mom friend at work who was doing her MBA in the evenings. And she told me once that she went to a classmate's house to work on a project. And when she walked through the living room, the classmate's daughter was sitting on the rug, happily and quietly playing with a few toys while classical music was playing in the background. Look, that was never our reality. We had a good chuckle over that. But then I discovered John Riker, a pediatric psychologist at John Radcliffe Hospital. Dr. Riker explains that playing with toys involves two stages, exploration and play. In the first stage, a child explores, what does this toy do? And in the second stage, the child explores, what can I do with this toy? So children are instinctual explorers. And so exploration always comes first. And the more toys they have, well, then the more time they spend in the exploration phase of each of these toys, instead of in the play phase, discovering what they can do with that toy. So now, fewer toys coupled with a pretty distraction-free environment allows children to develop creativity, the imagination play that's so important. Right, so spending way too much time decluttering or planning toy rotation and packing toys into rotation bins isn't the answer to independent play. Okay, we've got that. But fewer toys alone aren't the answer either. Oxford University professor Kathy Silva's research showed that equally as important as giving children fewer toys is parents spending time with them. She found that kids whose parents play, sing, read, or just spend time with them, they learn better and they're happier. Right, so piecing all of this together before decluttering your toys, here's what I gathered from all of these experts to create better playtime and a better toy situation for your kids. First, declutter the toys. The way to do this painlessly is simply to think about the smaller, subset of toys that they choose most of the time when they play. And these are the ones that you're going to keep out in your play area. Then take some bags, boxes, and bins and drop all the other toys in there. You now need to place all those boxes and bags and bins outside of the toy room or the toy space in a spot that's pretty much hidden from your kids, that your kids won't be able to reach or explore what's in these bags. If you've got the giant dollhouse or the big train table, don't make the mistake of believing that, if the dollhouse or train table was always set up, now that the other toys are gone, well, they're going to play with it for hours for sure. Well, that might be true or it might not. Think about covering that up with a big black plastic garbage bag and moving it to the garage or the attic or whatever. If you just have so many toys that is just too overwhelming for you to contemplate the pack up, then enlist help from your spouse, from a friend, or from an organizer. And if there's not enough room in the garage or the attic, then use floor space in the guest room or even in your bedroom and cover the pile up with a big sheet or a heavy blanket. It won't be there forever. And maybe it's not so bad that it's annoying to look at. It make you want to do something with that. So now, choose how long you're going to keep the extra toys in your home. Is it 3 months? 3 months is a pretty good amount of time for you to really observe how your kids play and what they play with. So here's what to do. First, take your kids to your toy room or your toy area and begin playtime by filling their connection needs with you. So have genuine connection with them, chat, listen, make eye contact, and then allow yourself to stay by their side until you notice them naturally moving away from you to go search for a toy. Then stay in the room and observe while doing something else yourself, like reading a book or a magazine. I found that TV or being on my phone was distracting for them because they could see the images. So I prefer a book or something that's just not on a screen. So now just observe. You'll do this over the 3 months or whatever time period you chose. Just observe which toys of the ones that you kept out for them do they go to? Do they use 80% of the time? Which toys do they play with for the longest periods of time? Which toys cause less conflict between your kids? Which are the ones that create more imaginative play, where they use the toys in ways other than, the toy was made for? And which are their beloved toys? You're observing without leading or directing their play. And if they come to you, answer their question. And if they need you to go see their creations, go see them and hear what they're telling you. Take stock of how your kids are playing collaboratively. Are they conducting imaginative play with these toys? Are they engaged in play for some time? And is that amount of time increasing over time? Remember, you're observing them over weeks and months. You're also paying attention to see if your kids remember a specific toy that you've put away in one of the bags. If they remember it, then take it out and keep it. You also want to choose to keep any toy that's emotional to you, that has an emotional connection for you as well as for your kids, right? In my own case, I didn't do the packing up in one sitting. I was terrified of getting rid of any toys. I think I also felt the guilt of having spent so much money to complete a toy set or to get the latest Barbie. So I did it over a few months, I think. A little bit at a time, and into bins and bags that we then stored in various closets in the house. I think that by doing it this way, it also lessened the impact on the kids. I wonder if they would have been upset if from one day to the next, most of their toys were gone from the toy space. So what do you do if your child does get upset? Not about a specific toy, because of course, if they want a specific toy to keep playing with, you can certainly go keep that. But what about if they get upset about all the toys? Some moms say, well, okay, take a break. Move away from the play area for a while. Go outside to play instead. Go get a snack. Do something else. Some say to give them an alternate type of play for a while. My mom would fill up my kitchen sink with a little bit of water and give my daughter some cups, some spoons, some funnels. And she would put an apron on her and pull up the step stool and just hang out while my daughter played. I also kept a container of dried beans in the kitchen, and I'd give the kids some plastic mixing bowls and big cooking spoons. And I would set them on the kitchen floor while I cooked or did some other things in the kitchen. And you have to be sure, of course, that you're watching your kids here, because these can be choking hazards for the younger ones. You can also show them the new emptier space, and you can ask, oh, I wonder what you're going to do with all this fabulous new space. And don't offer suggestions. Let them ponder that for a bit. They might use the space to display things, or the shelves might become examination tables for their stuffed toys going to the vet. Let them come up with the ideas, no matter how strange. So now that you've got bins, boxes, or bags of toys all packed up, now what do you do? Well, since they're already packed up, you can donate them as is. Or if you're inclined, you can sell some of them, online or in your local marketplace. So now here's the caveat I mentioned at the start of the show. Now that you've got all this clear, decluttered space in your toy area, you're going to want to be extremely careful about what will happen during the holidays or on birthdays when your kids will receive toy gifts. So if gifts are coming mostly from family members, you can try to give your preferences about what you want your children to receive as gifts, right? That's perfectly valid. People, I find, often give toys out of a necessity to give something as a gift. So unless someone told me that they specifically picked out this toy thinking of my child, then I have no qualms about decluttering it immediately before my child even sees it if I don't feel that it's a toy that we need to keep. Does that seem kind of harsh? Like most of the time, toy gifts are accompanied by a gift receipt anyway, which tells me right away that the gift giver is perfectly okay with me returning it. And actually, I found that now a lot of gifts are simply gift cards so that we can go out and buy whatever gift we want ourselves. Now, as an organizer, I will recommend that you become very picky about what you keep in this new emptier space. Remember the research that fewer toys lead to better, more imaginative play, better problem solving, and better collaboration, which are skills you absolutely want your kids to develop. And now that you have more empty space, you can see step 2 of the Clear 5 framework for organizing: limit. Set a limit to the space that you can keep toys in and the number of toys that you can keep in there. And so before you add toys to fill that space, observe how your kids have used the empty space with their imaginative play. Has it become a display space for their artwork? Is it now a vet's office? And step 4 of the Clear 5 framework is to assign homes to all the toys. Have you assigned a home to the toys so they fit comfortably in the space that you've allowed, in the limited space that you've allowed for them? And can your kids access the toys on their own so they can continue independent play as much as they want? Toys are not easy. We want our kids to have it all. But as the research shows, we're doing a disservice to our kids if we overwhelm them with just too many toys. You'll know you've hit the sweet spot with the number of toys in your house when you see the time that your kids are able to play independently starts to increase. And when they play more imaginatively and to create solutions together using their toys. Remember that if you're in Miami, you can take advantage of our special fall offer to get your toy decluttering done now before the influx of holiday gifts. When you buy any organizing package, you get a free home inventory done for you, so you have a record of what you own in your house. This offer is only valid through the end of November, and you can find out more at fireflybridge.com/fall special. I'm putting the link in the show notes as well. I hope you enjoy your week, and I'll see you on the next episode.